What is happening, guys? So welcome back to another episode of the Made by Miles podcast. I am joined today by a good friend of mine, Hannah Reilly, and we're going to basically be covering how Hannah has built a truly authentic life, if we'll say that. And I think the word like authentic kind of gets like chucked about, right? But like I think I'm true to myself and I'm authentic, right? And then you get Hannah and I'm like, right, okay, like she just lives life in her terms, and it's like a cool life. It's funny, and like we're going to title the episode Hannah Reilly Can't Be Arsed, but she does it anyway. And you'll understand why as we go into this, because she's got a very unique brand to like herself and obviously a coaching business and that kind of stuff, man, which is also called CBA. And I just love that. And like, it's like, if I was a female, I'd get coached back because I think it's so cool and I think it's quite a funny concept. And it's cool because it's not even as if you go, I've just got to the gym. Like you've got girls doing some pretty cool things, man.
Yeah.
And we'll take a deep dive into this. Like Hannah's obviously a coach. She's done a lot of stuff. She's done triathlons. She's done powerlifting and stuff like that. And we'll take a good deep dive into this. But I think first of all is just Hannah, like introduce yourself and kind of give us a wee insight to who Hannah Reilly is.
Yeah, so I'm Hannah. I am a coach and a business owner. I am mother to the world's most aggressive sausage dog. He's called Otis. He's a psychopath. I'm married to a guy called Ross, who's from the Orkney Islands. And yeah, I've been a coach for 5 years. I did a lot of different things before that. And I actually couldn't imagine doing anything else now. Mm-hmm. This is definitely what I was supposed to do, whether that's coaching one-to-one or just coaching in some capacity. My two favourite things are Empire Biscuits and Cillian Murphy.
You see what I mean though, by a bit authentic, man, do you know what I mean? Like Empire Biscuits, innit? But I think it's quite cool as well that you obviously touched on there that like coaching was for you.
Yeah.
But like I know just from obviously knowing you as a mate that you've had different like lives, if you will, and different kind of stuff. Like you've done travelling, you've worked a bit of corporate and all that kind of stuff, man. What was life like before coaching then?
Yeah, so I went to, I grew up like in very rural southwest Scotland, like on a hill. You have to go over 2 cattle grids to get to my house. Like it is in the middle of nowhere.
It's like Kirkcudbright, what was near that?
Yeah,
It was
so I'm
near
like
that
10 miles away from Kirkcudbright,
Mm-hmm.
like on the coast. And we've always been active. Like my dad is half his time he's a Christian minister. The other half, he's an outdoor instructor.
Okay.
So we grew up like rock climbing, mountain biking, windsurfing. Didn't have a TV. So we read a lot of books. We spent a lot of time outside. So that sort of shaped like the active part of my life. But then when I was 13, I got an older boyfriend and started smoking and drinking and didn't want to do anything that my family did. So I actually moved out of home like quite young. Did a lot of partying, made a lot of bad decisions.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, but I think something that always like kept me sane was I always had a job. Like I look at some of my pals who I used to kick around with who are maybe still in the same position, and I think the difference was that I always had work to go to because I always wanted money, because I know money doesn't bring you happiness, but it definitely gives you options. And I wanted a car, I wanted a passport, I wanted to go travelling. So when I was like 17, I went to uni for the first time. I went to Edinburgh. I got into English language and linguistics. I did one lecture and I was like, I honestly don't give a fuck about the phonetic alphabet. What is this? So after, I maybe lasted like 2 months. And then I came home and my parents were like, you can move back home, but you need to be studying something. So I ended up going to art school to do photography.
Right, okay.
But the whole time I was doing my degree, all of my pals were in Southeast Asia, New Zealand, Australia. I was the only person still in Scotland. So the goal was always get this degree and then fuck off. Like, I do not want to be here. And that's exactly what we did. So I graduated in the May, and in the September, I went to India for 6 weeks, and then Bali, and then Australia. And I was in Australia for 3 years, which is where I met my husband.
Oh, mate, I didn't realise that you and Ross met in Australia. I did not realise that, man.
We worked for the same company. He was higher up than me, and he got me very drunk at a work event.
Oh, right, okay. It's worked from, but that just sounds like flat. You should do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You know
There was actually a rule in the office.
It works.
There was a rule in the office because I worked for a sales office, so everyone was like confident, outgoing, and of a certain age. And the rule was like no sleeping around in the office, which obviously did happen, but you had to keep it on the quiet. So he's going to kill me for saying this. The first time we hooked up in the morning, the first thing he said to me was like, no one needs to find out about this. And I remember being like, ooh, wow. But it's been 10 years. You couldn't get rid of
There
me.
you go,
so.
that's it, man, isn't it? So I suppose that's quite funny how things happen, that kind of stuff, isn't it? But I think there's a lot to kind of digest it about like everything that kind of happened like from the early years as such, man. What was it like living in the countryside and then going, because whereabouts in Australia did you just go? Was it Melbourne?
Yeah, so
Melbourne?
I lived in Melbourne.
So like that's a massive contrast. And like even like obviously East Kilbride's not a massive, but it's getting bigger, right? But East Kilbride, worked in Glasgow for years, and even when I went over to like Australia, I was like, whoa, it's so much, it's just a different world. How did you find that from growing up? Like 10 miles from Kilbray to then the madness of Melbourne.
I think because I lived, before I'd moved to Australia, I'd lived like the best part of a year in Edinburgh.
Right, okay, I suppose, yeah.
So I'd sort of had a little bit of a taste of a city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm probably more patient because I grew up in the country. So like where I live, it's 2.5 miles to the main road, and there would be 2 buses that would go past the road to get you into town. No buses on a Sunday. So if you missed that bus, you were staying at home for the day. So like, and Scottish, well, everyone knows Scottish public transport's very unreliable.
Oh, it's shocking.
So if you don't get there, you don't get there. And I think I'm quite relaxed about stuff like that, maybe in the way that other people weren't. I think moving to a city magnified that I have terrible financial management.
Okay.
So living in the country, it's very easy to save money because there's nothing to do. And then as soon as I moved to a city, I was like, oh my God, I could like literally spend endless amount of money every single day.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I'm pure erratic. George will back me
Yeah.
up on this, man, and my mate Duncan has a laugh with me. Like, see, anytime we're about, like, we'd come back for like a holiday and see if I still had money in my wallet, even if it was euros or whatever, and like going through the airport, I'm like, I just need to spend this
I
money,
need to
mate.
spend it.
And he's like,
How many bars
why?
of chocolate can
But
I buy?
you get like a pure,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the addictive past or something, but you're like, get me
Yeah.
fix out of this, man. You're like
Yeah,
just holding
totally.
the big massive chocolate bars that you get in the airports. What are they? It's like the Milka bars or something.
Oh,
like that. And it's like 3 for €10.
Unreal.
This is amazing.
I'll take 4.
No, I get it, man. And I think it's pretty cool, man. Obviously, you did take that leap to obviously like go from the countryside into Melbourne and that kind of stuff. And as well, like what you were saying around about still having work that kind of kept you on the straight and narrow when, like, I think every person that'll have in this podcast will have a similar story to a degree between maybe 13 to 20,
Yeah.
where it is. And it can be like the full time or just a year or whatever, but I think everyone will have that period where they fucked it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think there's an element where people say that, oh, it's normal. And I'm like, well, it's normal, but it's still a problem, right?
I think it's very normal in Scotland. Very normal in Scotland. It wasn't until when we came back from Australia, I worked in London and like...
Because what age were you when you was in Australia?
21 to 25.
Right, okay. So
And
just past that kind of,
Yeah.
we're getting on it, if that
So
makes
sort
sense.
of coming out of it, and thank God, because drugs are considerably more expensive in Australia. And then like speaking to people in the office in London about like partying experiences or like sexual experiences or whatever it is. And these girls who've grown up in London or grown up in the South are like, what the fuck? Like that's very foreign. Like a lot of them didn't start doing that sort of stuff till they were at uni or even after they've graduated. So yeah, I think it's definitely normal. It's not normal, but it's normalised in Scotland.
It's like,
Yeah.
But I like, and it's quite mental because I always remember this, like when I was like 15, right? Doing what you were doing stuff that you probably shouldn't be doing. And this 12-year-old just came up to him and was like, can I get X, Y, and Z off you? And he's already like out his nut. And I'm just like, what is going on, man? It's a 12-year-old and that kind of stuff. And like, it's so common. And like, see, what I've noticed is, and there's like quite a dangerous message going out the now, where it's like, oh, well, it's normal, you're just going through life. I'm like, well, like, I don't think like you should be getting swagged. Like, like 15 years of age and all that kind of stuff. Like, you do you, man. For me, it's not for me at all anymore, right? But I do have some of the best nights of my life have been like out my nut, to be completely honest, right? But we live in a culture where it's like, you're all right, there's nothing on me. And then you get to 20 and you're like, I can't talk to anyone. Like, I'm so socially awkward, or you're terrified. You're like, oh, I feel pure, really, really upset all the time. You're like, that's because you've not really dealt with anything. And it is a bit scary just how people brush it off and just go, it's just what happens. It's like, should it?
And I think there's having experiences or like being a teenager and doing things that you learn from, and then it's a very fine line between that and fucking it.
Yeah. And I know I can speak for myself, but I don't know so much for yourself, Hannah. I fucked it, like massively fucked it. It was like, right, he's not coming back, and like being on the other side of that was very, very scary, but you're not aware of it. It's when you kind of come out of it and you start to see it. And obviously I've brought it into my coaching a lot.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people like justifying actions and stuff like that. And even like, I see a lot of coaches justifying it and going, it's not really that bad. I'm like, you don't fucking know me. Like, to be honest, you don't know the story, so don't even talk about it because you don't understand it. But I think the justification of, it's just going to get out your nut, it's fine. And as you say, the lines that you're right there, and if you go over that, you might not come back to the other side. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that's so, like, work for me was always an anchor.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm from a big family. My dad's a minister. Like, we didn't get pocket money. We didn't get handouts.
You show up on Monday. That's it.
And it was very much like, if I wanted money, I had to work for it. And that's instilled, like, a very good work ethic in me.
Even when you mentioned about, like, I wanted a passport.
Yeah.
Like, not like saying that's, like, not alien to me and stuff, but, like, my mum and dad got me a passport. Like,
my parents would have got me a passport, but then I would have had to renew it. And, like, I have so many friends who have partied a lot and their passport has expired and they've just not renewed it because...
I still find that concept of, like, so I had to renew my passport this year. It was like £100. Something like 90 quid.
£100,
like,
yeah.
Paying £100 to get out the fucking country. Like, I get
£100 for someone to confirm that I am who I am. Are you joking? What?
I remember me and Johnny were sitting breaking down. She's like, I'll be whatever it is. And I'm like, what? I was like, I can maybe get like 30 quid or whatever. But I was like, these robbing bastards. It is so bad, isn't it, man? But even like we'll touch on, because I want to get on to obviously the whole like your branding stuff, because it is so cool, man. But see, in terms of like traveling as such, man, what was like your biggest takeaway from traveling? Because a lot of people probably listen to this will be debating whether to have a family, go traveling, or just start the business they've always thought about. So what was your experience with traveling?
I think I've said this a lot to like lots of people in my life. To do a big trip, whether that's so, like I went away with the intention of doing a year. It ended up like 3.5. But whether you're going away for a few months or you're like, I'm going to go away for 5 years, you need time and you also need money. And it's very rare that you get both of those things at the same time. Like, yeah, you might have all the time in the world, but you're unemployed and you've got no money. Or then you might have lots of money, but it's because your business is flying, so you don't have the opportunity to take it somewhere else. So if you are at a point where you have both time and money, just fucking go. Just go. Like so my traveling at that point was like through India, which was insane. Like watching kids like play with a plastic bottle in the street and been absolutely buzzing about it. And then getting to Melbourne and staying with a family and like their 7-year-olds kicking off because they can't get the newest iPad. And that just puts it in such perspective. Yeah, I think I was traveling with my boyfriend at the time and my best friend. And we had fun, right? We threw ourselves in a lot of different experiences. He was a psytrance DJ, so we still did quite a lot of partying. Like we were in Goa and stuff. And when we got, so we were 6 weeks in India, and then when we got to Bali, I remember feeling so relieved that I wasn't in India anymore. And I think I wouldn't necessarily be in a rush to go back, but I'm glad that I went to a developing country just to see.
What was the reasoning for it? Was it just not so much a reality check, but just going, wow?
It was exhausting. Like we were just stared at all the time.
Right, okay.
All the time. Like we were, a lot of the time, we'd be the only white people you'd see. And it's not like people aren't just like glancing at you. Like we were...
like patting our friends going, look at that. Yeah,
right, like we're sat in a train station waiting for a train, and like we're sat on our backpacks, and within 3 minutes, like there is a crowd of like 100 people just stood in a circle round. We're sat down, they're stood up, and they're just like leaning over, staring at us, and we're like, all right, okay. And my friend, who's had done a lot more traveling than me, was just like, they're going to stare anyway. So she gets out her ukulele and starts singing. And I'm like, oh God, this is how I die. But
amazing.
And like we were fine. We were obviously fine. But just stuff like that, like leaning into those experiences. I think if you'd said you're going to go to India and you're going to be surrounded by 100 odd people in a train station, I would be like, ooh.
I'm not doing that.
But it was so fine. And just like seeing those different experiences, and then also having to lean in. I think up until I went away, I was probably quite a control freak.
Right.
Like I wanted to control the timelines of everything, but like in India, everything's just on India time. So you go to get a flight, you get a train, and it's like India time, and you just fully have to.
What do you mean by that?
Like the train, it's supposed to come at 12, might come at 2.
Aye, whatever.
It'll just come when it'll come, India time.
That's way.
And that's everyone's answer to everything. So you just have to be like, right, well, there's actually nothing I can do to control this. So I just have to lean in.
Does it work for them? But like out of curiosity, does like the Indians when they're over, like when they live there, obviously, do they get stressed out about trains being late, or is it they just go okay?
Like, I think you just have to be okay with it, like
because I know that like if my train's late by 3 minutes, even if I'm still going to be 50 minutes early to the meeting or whatever I'm going to, I'm like, right, what's going on here?
Oh, see,
Do you know
so
what I mean?
I
Like,
used to be like that, and then I was like, you just have to let it go. Like, I can't change the outcome of this, and equally, me sitting being frustrated about it is wasted energy
pointless, isn't
because
it?
that's not my frustration. Isn't going to make the train arrive any quicker. The train's going to get here when it gets here. So I think it taught me like just to separate myself from like the plan.
yeah, and I think that's as well. Like that's one thing I've noticed for traveling is like, see, when I came back, I just instantly noticed it just how uptight everyone was and just very like stressed, and like it's a British thing. It's not even like a European thing.
so
Like
uptight.
it's a British thing. Like even like we like one of the things where I noticed it, which I was quite surprised with, was Toulouse in France, and like I always just related that the French are the exact same as us, like 100 mile an hour. In my opinion, quite rude. Like we are quite rude in my opinion as well. But Toulouse was just like, sound like it's just nice and relaxed. And I've just noticed this, that for whatever reason, even though I was touching on there about like 3 minutes late in a train, I'm like, what's going on? Even though it's not going to make you late. Like I think it's ingrained in us to just be very, very uptight and stressed out all the time and like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like you go across to all these different countries and it's just like India time. Like that's a whole different concept that I don't think I could live with.
I think as
But you
well,
would get
like
used to it.
you panicking about being 3 minutes late. I think that's because as British people, we put like such a big expectation on punctuality.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm assuming they don't have that in India, so it doesn't. That's a made up thing. I'm late for everything, so
Because even I noticed it like the first couple of weeks when we were away, and like, I've just been raised with my mum and dad, like manners cost nothing.
Yeah.
So I'll hold the door open for somebody and they just walk through you. Like nothing bad. Like
Are you the sort of person that if you hold the door and someone walks through it and they don't acknowledge it, do you say you're welcome?
No, I don't do
I'm
that.
that
I don't
person.
do that. I actually
I'm
don't do
that
that because
person,
but I look at them
100%.
and go like that. If you fell down, I'd laugh. Like, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't help you up, mate. Do you know
Come
what I
back
mean?
through the door so I can shut it in your face.
Definitely, man. But I noticed that and all, and I'm like, these fucking pricks don't say thank you. And John's like, they're no pricks, they're just getting on with their life, mate. I'm
Yeah.
like, that is absolutely fair, man. Isn't it? But now travelling's, I think, like in my opinion, like if you've got a chance, like what you said, there is like to go
Yeah.
travelling, and it's like not to kind of go against what you said. I would see if you have the time and you have a way of making money, gamble,
Fine.
go gamble.
Yeah.
Because we done that, like,
Yeah.
and it was a major gamble. And like honestly, I remember it was like July last year, and I was actually on a call with Dean in some random fucking Airbnb in Melbourne. No, not Melbourne, sorry, Perth. Just going, it's fucked, mate. Everything's fucked. And he was like, try to calm me down. You know what he's like? He's like, right, fucking calm down, Kieran. I'm like, I can't even. Everything's a way
You
to
don't
shit.
understand.
But we like just like honestly, like this is even just a bit of advice for someone. Like me and Georgia left for travelling with about £1,200.
Yeah.
And I like saved in our accounts in our business that was still growing. And it still is to this day. It's in obviously a much better spot where like we've got money this time to go away travelling. But we took a big risk, and I think like it forces you to actually like grow up and figure it out, because you're away in a different other side of the world. Like nobody knows you, nobody cares about you, so you need to figure it out. So again, I get the point of like you need some money obviously, but see if you've got a way of making money and you want out, probably get out and go and do it.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not going to stay here and make the money anyway, because you're already bored. Do you know what I mean?
So
And
valid,
that's what I found. I remember I just came around one day and I just went, I need it. I can't remember what happened. I was like, I just need away for a bit. It needs to happen. We done a big, like, I remember it was such a good moment. We done like a big seminar focused event day, which was probably, as a coach, one of the best days we've had. I think it was more for me than the clients, but that kind of way you go,
That's allowed.
But it's all right, man. You're standing around with people going, they don't really care what I'm saying here, but
I'm buzzing.
My dad's in the corner. I'm like, yes, Phil. Do you know what I mean? My dad comes in. That was brilliant, man. But we done that, and the next day, and we fly out to Bali, and I'm like, this is it. And then you get a couple of text messages and that people finishing up. You're like, shit. Chris, help me.
That's around.
It is, man. But I think you do sometimes need to like chuck yourself into the deep end. But I think to touch on obviously like the corporate side of things as well. So how did you find like coming back and then going right back into like a corporate job? Like how did that come about basically?
So Ross, my husband, is 8 years older than me. So he like turned 30 when we were in Australia and then had a complete meltdown. Like, what am I doing with my life? I need a career. I need to go home. So he flew home and I travelled for another like 4 months with a friend. And I said, right, when we get back, I'll live anywhere in the UK apart from London. I don't want to live in London. And I got back and he's like, I got a job in London. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Whereabouts did you stay in London?
So East London.
Right, okay.
Stoke Newington in Hackney. Ross took a graduate job. So Ross would have been 32. He took a graduate job. Everyone else was like 21, 22. He was the first one in the office, the last one out. And and he took a massive pay cut, and I got a job as a office manager for a property developer, which is it was the weirdest 8 months of my life.
Right,
Like
okay.
it was so bizarre.
Did you just put out a character for you that you're just like,
Yeah.
what am I doing here?
So I'm there like in my Doc Martens and my ripped jeans, like talking to councillors and trying to like rework policy. So when you design a building in London, a certain percent of it has to be social housing.
Okay.
So part of their, like the office I worked in, part of the job was working out how to make the social housing as small as possible, how to give them the least amount of windows, the least amount of bin space, and the least amount of bicycle spaces, because they make no money on the social housing.
It's wild that bad. It is.
So I'm there like at my desk like, this is actually fucked.
Yeah, like
And,
I just don't agree with this.
I don't agree with this at all. And like they would like constantly refer to me as, oh yeah, well, the new girl, she's a liberal. I'm like, I'm not a liberal, I'm just not an arsehole.
I've just got a heart.
Like, yeah. So when we first moved, because Ross was a graduate and I had that job, I made more money than him. So like I paid for like the lion's share of the household stuff. And then I actually got fired from that job. And started a different job, and then the tables turned and Ross was making more money than me and I was making less, so it all sort of evened out. And then the next job I had in London, I worked for a gym brand. So I was in the office, I was like operations assistant, I was then head of operations and then executive assistant. So I worked in every department. It was a startup, so when startups say fast-paced environments, they basically just mean shit show. So it was like, I was there for 3 years? And it was 3 years of like back against the wall, firefighting. Even now when I hear a Slack notification, like I get a jolt of adrenaline. Like it's...
Trauma.
Yeah, like stress. And especially about something I didn't care about. And I remember the interview for that job, the CEO said to me, what's your dream role? And I was like, well, I don't think it's been created yet. I don't think that's a role that anyone can give me. I'm going to have to make that for myself. And he was like, that's a terrible interview answer, but at least you're honest. And I was like, yeah. And I stand by that. Like,
that is cool as well, because like as you've said there, like you kind of have created your own role.
Yeah.
As such, man. There was an interesting point that you said just right at the end of, but like how obviously I know we laughed at a bit of trauma like face Slack notifications, but there will be an element of fuck.
Yeah.
And like you could not have given less of a fuck, but you were under so much stress all the time. And like it's mental how many people will really relate to that, man. I know at one point, like I worked in a printers for fucking like 7 years. Fucking dyslexic, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like I hated it. I just genuinely having people screaming at you for books for Oxford, and you're like,
you don't care.
You don't care, but you'll put yourself, like I wouldn't sleep at night. I would be in a bad way, like all because somebody was going to shout at me, or you were just going to you felt less worthy or something like that. And it's mental how many people like.
And if you did, and especially in a startup environment, if I did start to care and my output went up and my work was good, I was then just rewarded with more work and more responsibility. And like at one point I was managing like a team of like 50 front of house who they didn't care either. Like no one cared. And it wasn't until COVID happened and I decided to like leave and retrain. And my dad said to me, like, you've worked so hard at that company, like you've built yourself up, you've got a good salary, you've got a nice title, like why leave now? And I was like, Dad, like 50 hours a week is a really long time to spend doing something I don't care about. And he was like, fair enough.
I get it. And it is like, even like, I think it has a kind of element of manipulation.
Yeah,
to a degree.
100%.
Because like, as you said there, like, right, I'm doing good. Right, so your reward's more work.
Yeah.
But like, even when I think back to when I worked for people and stuff, like I seen that as, oh, I'm doing good, right? But you're not getting any more benefit. You know, like at the end of the day, we do what we do, especially when you work for someone, to get paid. That's it. Like that is it, especially if you don't care. And then if you're not getting paid any more money, but they've angled it in a way that if you get more work, you're doing better, but you're just like, right, but what's the outcome for me? But so many people just go,
so
oh, that's my purpose, man. Do you know what I mean? And I see it a lot in older generations, like especially like in my dad and all that kind of stuff. And like my dad's a grafter, right? But like he's 62 now and he's just programmed to like work all the time. And like he's really good at what he does. He does enjoy it to a degree, but I'm like, you'll just do things like at the weekend, and I'm like, chill, like just chill.
Yeah,
and he's like,
my
this
mum
needs done. I'm like,
stop ever.
Nothing. And I see it all the time, and it's kind of, it's not scared me, but I'm like going, I don't want to have to feel that I need to be doing something all the time. And like it does trickle through in a lot of people. I've seen a lot of my mates. When I was doing this week, I just need to fix this, I need to fix that. And you're like,
sit down.
You literally were on the phone to me last night saying that how fucking done in you. Just chill it. And I think we all get caught up in this like rat race of being busy so we can hide from the fact that we don't feel purpose. Yeah. And that's quite a scary thought for a lot of people. Because when I say to people, it's like, what's your purpose? And they're like, plumbing. And you're like, what you talking?
Whoa.
And I'm like, well, like, fair dues, it might be, but I'm like going, so did you just start doing that at 16? They're like, aye. And I'm like, so is it really? Do you know what I mean? What did you like before that and stuff like that? And it's like, they start to dig into it, and it's quite a weird concept, but not a lot of people are willing to look into it. And I think that's mental. And I think, like, obviously, if we'll go and now kind of brush onto like coaching wise and that stuff, I think you would agree with me that you've really found your purpose, but not just as a coach in the coaching industry, because there's a lot of coaches that are just copy and paste numbers, and there's only so many times that you can reinvent the wheel. And I'd like to think we've tried to separate ourselves as much as we can and that kind of stuff, but there is your performance and physique coaching. We'll target your lifestyle, we'll target your mindset, we'll bridge the gap between ambition and your behaviours, of course. Like, that's what we do. But like, there's no one that really does what yous do. Like, yous really get females who just can't be fucked.
And I
to
think
date anyway, do you know what I mean?
It's so surprising that no one's cracked this before, because there's so many people that fall in this category.
Yeah.
Like,
the thing is, I said, if I was a lassie, back then I would have been like, take my money, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Like, it's, and I think as soon as so the whole can't be asked doing it anyway, that came from, like, I'm a big mantra person. So when I'm running, my mantra is always don't be shit. And I will just chant that over and over. And my mantra for going to the gym was like, can't be asked, fucking do it anyway. Do it anyway. And I used to say that all the time when I'd say it to the girls, and it became like a real catchphrase before CBA was called CBA. And then I was redoing my group program and looking for a name, and I called it Can't Be Asked Doing It Anyway. And the response I got from, like, people on Instagram that had followed me for years but have never spoken to me, they were like, that's fucking brilliant. That is exactly how I feel and who I am. And then when I went to do a rebrand, I was like, this is it. And I've had no pushback on it, apart from Morrison's wouldn't put my poster up because they said arsed was a swear word. And I was like, if someone thinks arse is a swear word, they're going to hate me.
Yeah,
So,
I don't want to work with them anyway.
Fine.
Oh, no, that's class, man. Because you have it, like, obviously, I've seen you inside, obviously, the MRI. That's how we met, obviously. And we've just watched this, like, brand grow. But, like, what I always admired about it was just effortless.
Yeah.
It's such, like, I just remember, let's see, when, like, we were still trying to figure it out, like, bits and bobs that we're trying to change and to make our message, like, me and Jordan will sit down and go, like, how do we make this crystal clear? As yours was like, this is what we do, this is who we are, and sounded right what was cool. And it's grown so much from that. And do you think, like, because you do have that can't be asked, like, mantra, but you've still done, like, we'll touch on it, like triathlons, powerlifting, that kind of stuff, do you think people will look at you and go, well, with Hannah can't be fucked, but she's doing that, like, she's the one for me?
And I think it's with the clients as well, if you've already said that, oh, well, I know you can't be asked and I can't be asked either, that takes that excuse out. Like, you can't tell me you're uninspired or unmotivated. Like, I don't care. Just do it.
we're all the same.
Like, we're all in the same boat. And if you're right, if I can do it, then you can do it too. And it just removes any excuses. And we all love a little excuse.
Oh, 100%.
We all love a little excuse.
100%, man.
And yeah, I think just being honest with yourself, because I think a lot of people, I'm so motivated all the time. Like, I'm never motivated. No. I'm never motivated. I never get a runner's high. I don't know what exercise endorphins are. I'm just doing it, you know? Like, none of that really matters to me. But the, like, keeping promises to myself, like, being determined, and then doing things that other people won't do, like they're doing it anyway. Like, that keeps me going. Me and Molly talk about this all the time. Like, Molly's my assistant coach. Like, wanting to be better than other people is fuel, and that's okay. Just like sometimes using your vanity as fuel is okay as well.
I agree with that.
And yeah, that's where it comes to. So, like, everyone can't be asked, but only the good ones do it anyway. So.
I think as well, like, the way I, like, obviously with mantras and that kind of stuff, and like getting ahead of other people. It's something that I've always used. Like, see, when, like, I used to, like, back in the day working about it, or even work as like a in-person coach, be coached at like 6. So I'd be out running like 4 a.m, and like that's horrible. I remember I had a conversation with one of my clients who's doing the photo shoot, and she's like, I am so tired right now, and I'm like, you will be, because you train at 4 a.m. She's like, I never get up ready to train. I'm like, who would?
Who would?
And you can just see her going, fair enough. I'm like, you've also got 2 kids, mate. She's like,
oh my God.
I feel like, do you know what I mean? Hence why she's training at 4 a.m. What was I saying? So when I used to be out running at like that time in the morning, don't get me wrong, online coach life, don't need to do it anymore. Happy days, do you know what I mean? Still 6 in the morning, obviously. But obviously, sometimes, no, I'm only joking. Christian will be watching that, but you better do it. I mean, as I go to run after lunch today. Yeah. But I would always be like looking at the windows and that kind of stuff, where everyone's like, lights are out and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, we're ahead of the curve here. Everyone else is still sleeping. And it does give you a wee bit of like a buzz, because you're like, right, okay, I'm doing what other people aren't willing to do. And that's when you start to reap the rewards. Obviously, we had Jordan on, and we were talking to him about, obviously, his ultra that he just done. And like me and him stay at like the same bit. So I'd be driving back down the road, man, at like 9 o'clock at night, driving down Greenhouse Road. There's a big hill like that. He's doing his house sprints. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I finished work 10 minutes ago, mate. I need to do it.
Gotta
And
get it done.
I think like this is where a lot of people go wrong. Like everyone loves an excuse.
Yeah.
But everyone's got that excuse. It's just what choice do you make around it? And we were speaking about this the other day to the guys. It's like, whether you like it or not, you've got a choice.
Yeah.
Like, regardless. Like, we've had a lot going on personally where other things have been a priority, but I still wanted that Great Scottish Run. I wanted the time I wanted. So I was like, I'm making sure my training gets done. Everything else maybe takes a back seat, but I made the choice to make sure that still happened. And
even if you make the choice to do it, you don't have to enjoy it.
Mhm.
Like I say that to the girls a lot. Like, if you've chosen to do it anyway, I'm not going to say you're going to bounce through your gym session like a little ray of sunshine. Like, you can be fucking miserable the whole time. Just get it done. And it's the same, like, we've got a run club and a jog club. Like, the first rule of run club, you don't have to be in a good mood. Like, I don't care if you're having a bad day, just come and do the session.
that's quite nice, actually, I like that.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
And it works because then people are like, oh, well, I've actually got no excuse. Like, my legs work, so I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Travis always used to say, he's like, did you die? And I'm like, it's a bit dark. I was like, mate, that's brutal. He's like, but did you die? And I'm like, no.
No, I suppose not.
You're right. Is that, so we're going to go again? I'm like, all right, mate. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But it's true. Like, and I liked how you mentioned about like manches and all that kind of stuff. And like, I think as well, like, you've really done, like, hit people's pain points in the best way possible. But it's not like, you know, that kind of way where I'll be like, hey, you need to like dig into them. And I'm like, fucking, all right, mate. Like, I get it, obviously, right? But I don't really want somebody like greeting and all that kind of stuff. 'Cause I don't like that stuff, right? But I think yous have hit, like, because you do need to trigger people to a certain degree, obviously, to get a reaction out of them. And I think, like, when yous go, well, can it be fucked, mate? And they're like, all right. And you're like, I'm doing it, you're doing it. And they're like, aye, sound, man. And I love the concept, man. But see, like, because I got it when I kind of like made the extramile. I was like, right, I think this is it. Like, did you just kind of get that feeling when you just came up with CBA and just went, right, this is the vehicle that's going to get me the life I want?
Yeah, I think the sort of click moment was when I brought Molly on board. So Molly was working she was working in a cafe and also doing some acting work on the side. We'd had dinner. She'd said she had like a inconsistent income. And I'd got home and I said to Ross, I think I'm going to offer a job. And Ross is like, well, what job are you offering her? And I was like, I don't know.
You make it up as we go.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that I can't keep doing this because I'm starting not to like it. And that's not the life that I want. I don't want to fall into that trap again. So brought Molly on and she does all the stuff that I don't want to do, which she's very good at, like loves a spreadsheet. She just sits
That's
there.
like Georgia.
Loves it.
I hate
it. Colour-coded, little drop-down click boxes. And I'm like,
shoot you in.
okay.
Definitely, man.
And she took a lot of like the admin heavy stuff, the sort of stuff that I was doing when it was just me, that I was like, fuck, I feel like I'm in an office again. I'm miserable. She does a lot of that. And then when she would say, oh yeah, I work for CBA, it became more than like something on Instagram. It became an actual brand. And then like we call our clients CB Angels. And that was one of our clients who said that. Like she coined the term. And now everyone uses it, and it's become it's become a brand.
It's a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
an actual thing. Yeah, like all the girls show up in their CB Angel t-shirts to train, and like everyone tags their Strava doing it anyway. Like it's become a.
It's like it is a movement, if you will. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's like the difference where you get like a brand, or you get like, oh, this is our coaching business and stuff, man. But yours is like an actual movement that people want to be a part of, and I think that's pretty cool. And it's like even like. We were touching on there, like when you see people wearing like your branded t-shirts and stuff, like see when you go into the gym and like a couple of times I've trained in like JID in the past couple of months, and I'll just see some of the clients and you just see them cutting about with the extra mile t-shirts and you're like,
well, guys.
you're doing pretty good. It's like something that just was a random passing thought, and I think like you can take that away as well. Like the amount, like, it's like something crazy. We all get like 60,000 thoughts in a day or something like that.
Yeah.
And you could probably pull one or two of them out, and it's probably a pretty cool idea, but you just never do anything with it. And it's like, see if you're just willing to actually give it a go and see what happens. You might actually build something out of it. Like we've got a few ideas for next year, which we've already kind of got in motion, even like with this podcast that's tied into it. But I'm not sharing it yet because I need to trademark it before I even do anything else. Do you know what I mean? But it's an idea that started to like build up steam, but because we had the idea of like full reset and all that kind of stuff way back when, like we now have belief that it can happen.
Yeah.
And you probably had a lot of ideas throughout your life, like obviously from travelling, working in corporate, even when you had that job interview and you're like, there's not a role for me, I'm still trying to figure it out. You've had that like thought pattern of going, right, I'm going to create my own life. And I think you need to manifest the shit out of that to actually make it happen. And ultimately, a lot of people actually don't do that. And like you'll probably come across it a lot where people will maybe come into like your brand, especially with it being like CBA, they'll be a bit low and be like,
so we've got like 50 girls at the moment, and I think 46 of them are on meds for depression or anxiety.
It's so common. We've got a lot of guys like
So
that as well,
common.
man.
I take antidepressants.
I've taken them as well in the past, man. But how many of your guys have you sat and had a conversation with that they're going, I think I'm going to come away from soon?
I let them come to me. I wouldn't
ask them.
I wouldn't poke them on that.
Exact same.
Probably about 25% over the course. But I think because I've been taking mine for like 3 years, and especially if someone has quite an erratic cycle, like a lot of the girls do, like the low weeks, pre-period and period week, like if the antidepressants mean you can still get out of bed and go to the gym and put some veg on your plate, then fucking take them. Yeah.
And it wasn't a question to go like, you approach them. It's like, I've just noticed through my time as coaching that the actual impact of just somebody believing in someone can actually get them to like wind off of the antidepressants. And it's like, antidepressants are there to enhance your life. Like, that's what they're there for. It's nothing like you need to eventually come off them. Like, you don't really, to be honest, man. Like, in an ideal world, but there's no pressure.
Like, I was so hesitant to even go to the doctors to talk about how I was feeling. Because firstly, I didn't want them to put me on contraception because that seems like a quick fix. And I didn't really want to take tablets. But I actually, this ties in with my triathlon prep. I started my antidepressants when I started training for my triathlon. And I've never taken better care of myself because I was like, if I'm going to take this stupid little pill every day, I need to do everything else. So I need to make sure my sleep's on point. I need to make sure I'm eating properly. I need to be kind to myself. And like my self-care and routines became so much stronger because of it. So if girls are on the fence about going to the doctors, I'm like, go for it. Like it might actually change your life. And if you start doing all those things around the medication and then feel that you can come off them, then great. You've at least built that base up. Yeah.
So even sure you've said that because you actually, I don't know if you remember this, but you actually said that to me at the retreat. I remember it because we were talking about like my OCD and my anxiety and that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm not going back to doctors. Like, I can't be bothered going back the way. And you were like, but it might help. Like, why not? But it's just, I think it's like an ego thing where you go, we've been here, we've done this.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you're not, but it's not a step backwards because you're a different person now. You've got a
100%.
different brain. You've had different experiences. Like, you're not stepping backwards. You're like
Don't
shuffling
get me wrong, but
sideways
I went back to it. Was like, so I went back to the NHS doctor and that kind of stuff. Right, I know they're busy and stuff. But he was like, right, we'll get on my phone, you know, that kind of stuff. Right, and it was like the mental health doctor. 6 weeks it took on my phone. I was like, mate, I'm in like a decent headspace. I've been through this before.
I could be dead,
but
bro.
See, 10 years ago, mate,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made this. And I know that's like, we're laughing at it, right? But that's quite bad. Like, that's actually quite bad, man,
I went
it?
for my repeat prescription and I saw a different doctor and I sat down. She sort of looked at her screen, right, yeah, So, have you decided that life's not actually that bad and you can cope without them? And I was like, no, I'm still depressed. I'd like a repeat prescription. She's like, shame. And I was like, whoa.
Shame.
And I was just like, you know what, just get out of the surgery, whatever. She's busy. She's probably having a shit day. This isn't about me. Like,
It's
just
definitely
leave.
not, but again, like, you've got the emotional awareness to know that, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, when you're deep in a cave and like maybe a doctor's having a shit, it's like, we're coaches, right? And I remember this, like obviously online, you don't see your clients as much, right? But see when you're going to group training and you're having a fucking cunt of a day, like, pull your socks up and smile, man. And that can be like seen as like toxic or whatever, right? But like a doctor, in my opinion, has to do the same to a degree. Like, yes, they should have more support. I know they work long hours. I know it's hard, right? But when you're talking about mental health and stuff, man, like, you can have somebody who's like on the brink and then you go, you sure you need these? Like,
I know that could just be the little flick to get them off the edge.
There's wee small things, man. And like, unfortunately, we've seen it with some of our boys and that kind of stuff, man, where it wasn't anything big. It was just like a wee small mishap or a wee small argument that just was like, I'm done.
I'm done, yeah.
I'm done. And like, when that happens, it's curtains, then that's a shame, man. But as well, like, even like, we won't go too deep into like the mental health side of things, I don't think. But what would you say, like, if you're obviously wanting to talk about it, man, like, if you had how's your journey been, like, with antidepressants, with mental health, and even more so, like, going from like the different chapters of life to now being in, how do I word this? Because you went from a point where you couldn't be asked going to work to now loving your work. Has there been a difference in your mental health as opposed to that?
Yeah, I think any time that I start grumbling about being self-employed or elements of my job, all I have to think about is if I was employed, I would have to put a little bit of paper in to another grown-up to say whether or not I can go on holiday. And that makes me feel physically sick. And I'm like, you know what? I'll go to work.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
really not that bad. And I think because I had such difficult experiences being an employee, partly due to bosses, partly because I clearly was not destined to be employed. I am like so sure that self-employment is for me. My dad's also been self-employed his whole life, so there's always been that sort of understanding there. And I think, so in, like mental health, been self-employed, managing yourself when you're the boss is hard. And that's I think I'd been self-employed for a year when I went on my antidepressants. And that was the real kick because, so my husband works for a huge corporation. If he has a day off or doesn't do something or doesn't pick up an email thread, there's 10 other people that'll do it. Like, things always keep moving because that's the way the business is built. Whereas if I don't do something,
It just doesn't get done.
it doesn't get done. And like Molly's great, but there's certain things, like I do all the programming, I do all the like design stuff. Like that's not Molly's forte. That's not what she does. So that's all on me. And if I'm fucking lying on the floor, like paralyzed by anxiety because I'm not doing it, I'm thinking, well, I've still got that to-do list to do. I've still got that to do.
I've been there, mate.
Yeah.
I've been there. And I think it is like, it's the pros and cons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because like, now you're saying about when you have to give a wee bit of paper to an adult to let you go on holiday. And you say, no. And you're like, what do you mean?
What?
I'm not like asking, mate. I'm kind of like, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man. I used to get it all the time and you'd be like, well, Salu's booked, mate.
Yes,
we're away,
it's
mate. We're
booked,
away,
yeah.
mate. But then again, the other side of it, obviously self-employed's great, but you take on a lot of pressures.
Yeah.
But like, my opinion, like I know some people might be listening to us going, oh, I don't know any of that stuff. If you can go self-employed, go self-employed.
Yeah.
That would be my honest opinion, especially you can only build a life on your terms so much by being employed. You can have a great life being employed.
Yeah.
Like you genuinely can. I would never say that because like my mum's been employed, man. My dad's employed now, but he obviously was self-employed and such
And
like
some people love it. Some
Some
people love
people-
the security. They love
So my
the...
best mate Duncan, like he will always be employed, but he just that's him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he has built his own life. But I think if you've got this urge to like see what you can do by yourself, then there's more pros than there is cons to it.
Yeah,
So I would
absolutely.
genuinely recommend just going for it. And again, what we were talking about earlier on, if you have that wee idea that gave you that wee butterfly feeling in your stomach,
Yeah.
that like squeaky bum time I call it, do it. Like that's the bottom line for it, man. But I think as well, before we go into like the kind of next point as such, man, there'll be a lot of people like we've spoke a wee bit around about like drinking, drugs, like the central belt of Scotland, man. Like, yes, it's normal to go out and drink. It's normal to have a wee bit of a blowout every now and then, right? But if you're going out every weekend, getting bluttered, waking up on a Sunday, missing work on a Monday,
Yeah.
speak to somebody. And it's not me preaching to it or any of that kind of stuff. Just speak to somebody, man, because you'll probably find out other stuff and see when you get a bit more in control of it. See when you do have a drink, you'll actually enjoy it instead of feeling like you just need to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just kind of like to kind of touch on that. But I think as well, like what I think is quite cool with the whole CBA mentality. So you done half an Ironman. Do you know what I mean? We're like, I had to ask Hannah about this before because I couldn't find it. I was like, what distance is this? And in my head, I'm like, see if I say how was the sprint triathlon, and she's done,
I would be
and
raging.
she's done like a full Ironman. She's like, fuck you, Kieran. How did that come about? How was the experience? And would you do it again?
Third question, no. Absolutely not. I finished and I called my coach and he was like, do you want to do a full one? And I was like, absolutely fucking not. And he was like, oh my God, thank God. So towards the end of, it would have been 2022, I got into cycling. I come from a big cycling family. My dad rode cycling, mountain biking. My sister was a British downhill champ. My little brother
That's
was
cool. I did not know that at all.
was a like professional cyclist in France, like big biking family. I was always reluctant to do it because you never want to do what everyone else is doing. But I got a bike and I went out and I loved it. I also just love the Lycra. I love it. Like I
I'm
think
going to agree with you here, by the way.
it's just so hot. Like it's so. And then like there's just pockets where you need pockets.
It's
and
the one
it's
about
just
when you whip out a wee banana and you're like, right, here we go, man.
unreal. Mine's an Empire biscuit. And I loved the cycling element of it, but the way that my brain works, if I'm going to get into something, I need to set a goal. So which is why I'm always doing running races or the powerlifting. Like I can't push myself to do it anyway, just for vibes. There needs to be an end goal.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I want to do some sort of race around cycling. I'm not going to do a cycling race because my family have won everything. So I have to pick something different. And then I was like, oh, I could do a triathlon. And then I'm looking at the distance. I looked at the sprint and I'm like, nah. I looked at Olympic and I know I would finish the Olympic and be like, I want to do a half Ironman. So I was like, just fucking go for
Just
the
go
half
for a
Ironman.
half Ironman. Mm-hmm.
In terms of an experience, it was difficult because I can't swim.
So how did you work around that? And this is more from a personal standpoint because I'm doing an Ironman next year and I can't swim.
So like I went to swimming classes when I was young. I was like, do they accept doggy paddle? I'm like Googling, is that a valid
just
is that a
holding on to
valid
somebody's
stroke?
leg at the end.
So I signed up for the Ironman. I picked one. I Googled flat half Ironman in fresh water with no fish. Because I do not want to swim in the sea and I do not like fish.
But I get it. I do get it.
Right? And it came up. I'm not the first person that searched that.
That's fair.
So it was in Shropshire. It was in like June, would have been June 2023. So December 2022, I went to the pool with Ross. Ross is a very good swimmer. And Ross says, I've never seen you swim before. And I was like, I don't think I can. I managed half a length. And then I was like coughing, spluttering.
It's hard. Like, it's a fucking solid, man.
And all I can hear is my breathing and I can taste my heartbeat. Like I was so convinced I was going to die. And then, of course, you put your feet down and you stand up and I'm like, I'm not going to die.
Okay,
It's fine.
I'm okay.
And the first swim session my coach ever gave me was 1,200 metres, like at any pace I wanted. And I like messaged him and I'm like, bro, like I can't do 20 metres. And he was like, okay. And he was very calm.
How long did you have prep-wise?
7 months.
Fair. That's fair. That's
yeah. So the running was the easy part. The cycling was very, very enjoyable. I did a lot of it with my dad, which was great. I would go down the road. I'm from Dumfries and Galloway. Go down the road every Friday, and I would cycle. And my dad would stop for lunch. It was great. But the swimming was like twice a week. I was swimming at Springburn Pool, and I would sit in the car and cry. I would cry in the pool. I would cry in my goggles. They would fill up with tears. But the mantra for that was like, you're gonna have to wash your hair anyway. You might as well do the session.
That's right.
So I just it was like just gritted my teeth and got on with it. And then I swam 1,900 meters in open water, and it was totally fine.
Was because like the thing I've got in my head for when we do the Ironman next year is like it's never like during it. It's the morning of it that I'm looking forward to, and then just that red carpet. Like that's, and then I think it is like obviously it's a vain thing, like because obviously you want to go through the experience. But I've seen videos of like. It just looks pure tribal at the start, and they're all just like, I don't even know, like I've seen the Keltman videos.
Oh, yeah.
And the guys get the bagpipes and the drums and the files going, I'm like, I'd be greeting.
So there's a picture of me waiting to get in the water in my wetsuit with my swim cap on. I'm just crying.
Your goggles.
My goggles aren't on yet, and I'm just like, I've got tears in my eyes. My face is like I am not having a good time.
Is it really hard to not go off like full pelt?
I couldn't go full pelt if I tried. Like
don't die.
I only learned how to swim front crawl, and I only learned to swim at the pace that I swim.
And that's it.
So
that's
my
cool.
coach said to me like a few weeks before, if something happens in the water and you like do something to your shoulder, you're going to have to switch to breaststroke so you can finish the swim. And I went to the pool to do breaststroke, and my watch didn't even register that I was moving. I was basically just treading water, and I was like, if something goes on my shoulder, like I'll be doing front crawl with one arm. Like I've got no other choice.
Fuck, amazing. And then how did you? We even just break it down by section, man. How did you actually get on with the cycle?
Cycle was fine. So
did you enjoy that?
I really enjoyed it. It was like a beautiful British summertime day. It was through the countryside. There was loads of posh houses with nice cars in the driveway. And it was so chill. And it was like, I stuck to the race plan to a T. Like my uncle came to watch me and he was like, oh, Han might come through in the next 10 minutes. And Ross is like, she'll be here in 17 minutes because that's the race plan. And she will stick to the race plan.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Do you find that you're very receptive to do this? Like, okay.
Yes. I think with my coach, yes, because I've set the goal. And that's what I say to the girls as well. Like if we've agreed a goal together, if you've come to me and said, I want to run a half marathon, and I've said, okay, this is your training split and this is what I'm expecting from you, and you've agreed to it, like I agreed to the Ironman program, like I need to do it. Otherwise I'm taking the piss out of myself and I'm taking the piss out of my coach. And I pay him £250 a month.
It's not cheap.
Right.
It's not cheap.
Why am I
it's mental. You do get people that do that. They'll sign up, do a bit. And you're like, you all right, mate? where are you? And they're like, oh, sorry, mate. And you're like, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean?
The way that I always think, whatever my current training split is, I divide the monthly fee by workouts. That's what I'm paying my coach per workout. So I'm like, well, I could skip this session, but that's £21.50. I'll just go.
I'll just get it done.
Yeah.
I'll do it anyway, innit?
Yeah.
Love it, man. And then even like the running side, because obviously it's a half marathon at the end, man. How did you find like, because even like when we've done brick sessions and stuff like that, and so I got my bike at the start of this year. Fucking love it, man.
It's so chill. It's so good.
But see when so obviously fresh bike, fresh pedals, fresh cleats. Oh, mate, see any red light, I'm like, oh fuck, you're hitting the deck.
There is my skin particles on most tarmac around East and Bartonshire. Like, there was maybe like 10 rides in a row where I fell off every ride to the point where, like, I would just go out in the same bib shorts because they're just ripped. Like, my overshoes are ripped, and I would put them on. My dad's like, "Oh my God, that's so embarrassing." And I'm like, it's too much to think about.
I think it's like, it's expected, but innit? When you first got on a bike, man, you're like, because that's what I was thinking about. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to fall. And I got to the top of my street, and it's like, so you go up a hill, and you turn
fell
right.
at the top of your street.
No, because I did right, like, but it went like it happened because like just I forgot that my foot was clipped in,
Right.
And I got to like the main road, and just a car was coming, so I just had to stop, and I'm just sitting here, and I've just went to the side, but I'm still clipped in at the side of the road.
And then you're rolling around like
aye,
a fish
and
attached to your bike.
Sunday about fucking 9 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, there's definitely people at the window going, what the fuck is he doing? But then that's you're installed with the fear, like the full time, and we got.
I can
like,
taste tarmac.
It's
like
horrible, man.
it's brutal.
Have you had like a proper bad fall on a bike yet? Touch wood, obviously.
No, I've like keeled over a few times or like gone to stop. And I think in my head, I'll be like, right, change gear, down a gear, take your foot out. But if I'm thinking about something else, like there's only so much room.
There's so many, you still just do forget.
Yeah.
There was one I was with, do you remember Callum McGowan? So I was with Callum, and this was when I first started cycling, and we were coming down a hill near, I think it was West Kilbride, I think it was. And just like fucking boys getting excited, man. Like, fucking yes, and screaming and all that. And I see him going around the bend, and I'm like, right, and just for whatever reason, man, you tuck up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're easy going about 50 kilometres an hour or something, man. And then I hear him stop, and I don't know how to like use my brakes, right? So I've just put one of the brakes, and the back wheels just started spinning. And by chance, I've just managed to catch it, but I couldn't stop. So I've had to like squeeze past the two motors that had gone by, and this woman is like screaming at me, and that way I'm like, sorry. Like, you know, that kind of way, you can't even argue. I'm like, this is why drivers don't like cyclists.
Right.
I am that prick. This is terrible, man.
She's going home like, oh, this wanker in lycra.
Honestly, man. And that was terrifying, but so going on the bike's fun, man.
Really fun.
I think a lot of people put it off because of the way you have to dress.
So Ross bought a gravel bike 6 months ago.
Right, okay.
Beautiful gravel bike.
Not been on it.
It's been sat in the garage because he needs to buy all the stuff for it. And I've said, I'll just go and I'll get you everything you need. And he's like, yeah, but do I have to wear lycra? I'm like, you're going to look like a dickhead wearing your football shorts on a bike.
Well, that's that. You know what I mean?
And also, just lean in. When else do you get to wear a light? You just get to cut around in a skin suit.
Comfy, mate. It's
great.
fun, mate. Do you know what I mean? And I think, like, everyone will say that now, but see when you've got your glasses on the helmet and all that stuff, you feel cool, man. Even though you don't. Right?
Do you run in glasses?
I have in the past, but I prefer just to wear a hat.
Because I was going to run in my bike glasses because they're like
It's the same
polarised Oakleys. I'm like, why am I going to buy a different pair? And then I put them on and I got out the door. I came back into my house and took them off again. I was like, can't do it. I'm just not that person.
Do you know what? I still regret this, man, to this day, but we were in Poznan for High Rocks last year, bevy the night before, and then we went into the airport, man, and like, I'm not really trusted to do things by myself when I'm hung up. Well, you've seen it. You know, I'm just not. I'm not trusted.
Aware.
Not trusted, man. Right? Maybe not talk about that today, but I'm not trusted. And then Georgia had to go through the security, and it was packing, and I had to go through security, and I was like, "Fuck this, man!" They pure made you take everything in the bag, and I fucking left my Oakleys behind, like £150 pair of glasses, and they already Georgia and everyone was like, "They are hideous. Don't buy them." So the chances of getting another one was very slim. So I was away into Timu for another pair of like £10 glasses, and I'm like, that'll do, man. But I was just looking for them, and I was like, and that way I can see them in this tray in Poland, and I'm back in my house in East Kilbride, like, that kid, man. Absolute
Some
dick.
security guard in the airport is rocking them.
Mate, they probably don't even know what it is. Do you know what I mean? We fucking went to like the wee cafe, their version of McDonald's. No sauce.
No sauce?
No sauce, man. We're already hungover. Fuck. Chips, chicken nuggets. I'm like, you getting barbecue, mate, any tomato? And they're like, nah, man. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Like, not just in that McDonald's or not in
It wasn't even a
Colin
McDonald's, it was just a Polish cafe
No
thing.
sauce.
And I was like, the only thing I could relate it to was McDonald's, but Polish. So it was like a bit strange with the food, to be honest.
Not even mayo?
Not even mayo. Well, I don't know, right? Because I asked them, and like it was three lasses just talking to each other, and they were just turning like that and looked at me. And one of them went, no. And I was like, there probably isn't. No, you're just in a conversation, man. But I don't even know how we got into that, man. But and then the running side of it, like I noticed coming off of like a bike and then going into a run, it feels different to anything that I've actually done. And the reason I say that is like we've done like so I've done brick sessions for a while, but you'll be on like the Concept 2 in the gym.
Yeah.
And then you'll go on a treadmill and run for 30 minutes.
I would never do that. Ever.
See, I've just done it for like, it's just automatic behaviour, it's just easy zone 2 work for, to just build up my engine. But it's like, see, and I was like, I'm going to start using my actual bike and then going to run outside. Fuck me, your heart rate just skyrockets, doesn't it? It's wild, man. And that's what gives me the fear for the marathon at the back end.
And I think that's why having my race plan was so crucial because I'm so comfortable on the bike. I could probably go like an extra 4 to 5 kilometers faster than what my race plan was. My coach was like, don't be a
You
dickhead.
could gash your legs into it.
Yeah. And I'm so glad I didn't because I found the half marathon really hard.
Right,
Really hard. I thought that at that point, my like determination and grit would kick in. And I'd be like, get it done, do a PB. But when it actually came to it, I was like, I cannot
I've got
be
nothing
fucked.
left.
This is 6 months of my life and I'm having a terrible time. So it was like, I think I'd like 2:15 maybe, which after 5 hours of the other stuff was like fine. I do look back on that and I'm like, I wish I'd
2:15's good, but
I wish I'd just gone a little bit quicker, or even not quicker, instead of trying to hit my race pace and then drop it off and then try to go again. I wish I'd just picked somewhere in the middle and just plodded
send
along.
it and just see what happens, man. I think as well when you get to like this is what I've noticed from like big endurance events. You've got a game plan and then you've got the day.
Yeah.
It only holds for a certain amount of time, and then it's like, how much can you grit your teeth?
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty cool, like, to go through that at one point. Like, I think everyone should sign up for something that terrifies them and will hurt like fuck, because it will show you what you're made of.
But I think also having a reward afterwards. So finished the race at 3 o'clock, went to the pub. I ate like a lasagna with a side of mashed potato and some chips.
Definitely.
Went to bed, got up at 3 a.m. and by 10 a.m. I was in Ibiza.
Please.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was in
Absolutely love
Ibiza. I woke up in the morning, Ross was like, how do your legs feel? And I was like, actually fine. And I'm doing walking lunges down the corridor. And he was like,
the
shut
Ibiza
up.
effect, didn't
I'm like, woo!
Definitely, man.
And then we had like 5 days just chilling in Ibiza. And that's what I was thinking about on the run. Like, fucking just get this done. You've got 15K left, then you're going on holiday.
And I think you do need to have that. I remember like we kind of, it was like Hunter McIntyre or something. I remember Christian that were telling me about it, but like they described it as like the McDonald's phase. Where it's like, and they were saying this to me after Run Scotland, and they're like, you need to go into this like 2 week phase of like the McDonald's phase. Like not just eat McDonald's obviously, but just chill out, relax, but do what you want to do. Like, if you want to train, go train. If you want to fucking go to the pub, go to the pub.
Yeah.
And I think you need to have that, like, and this is ambitious people saying that. Like, we've all got very, very big goals and that stuff, but you need to have that moment where you like, not live a normal life, but you take the pressure off it and you...
Yeah, just take the pedal off.
Aye, man.
Foot off the pedal.
Gas.
Sure.
We'll go with that one. But you do need to go through that phase, and this is where people experience burnout, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's not that their trainings went wrong or whatever. They've just not stopped. Whether you like it or not, we've all got a bandwidth, and that's it. And I think some people are very like ignorant to that. And I've done that in the past, man, because that's what happened.
Or
to
they
me.
think that if they do stop or slow down, that's failure. But like,
you're just learning their
deload
body.
weeks are a real life thing.
Yeah,
It's
mate,
a scientific thing. Like,
yeah.
it's not, you're not a pussy because you need a chiller week.
But I've found that in all, man. Like, we've given, it's predominantly guys that do this, right? We're going to put you through a deal. We're like, why? I'm like, because you've been pushing for like 8 weeks and you're fucked, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You keep telling me your hips are sore, your shins are sore. He's like, but I can still do this. I'm like,
Yeah, but not very well.
fucking, It's funny how people will question you, but see if they don't want to do, like, they don't want to do something, they're like, aye, but can we not do this? I'm like, nah, mate, like, you need to do this.
You're
man.
paying me.
Shut up. Do you know what I mean, man? I do get it. But I think as well, like, a good kind of question, obviously, to kind of like finish this off, man, is like, what's next for Hannah Reilly?
So I'm going to do another powerlifting meet.
Nice. We never even got on to that, man. We've got time, man. Powerlifting, man. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. So I came off the back of the triathlon and I was like, well, I never want to do that ever again. I just want to lift weights. And then I was like, do I want to lift weights in like a bodybuilding sense? Absolutely not. So
imagine you fucking jacked.
I said to my coach today, I was like, I'd love to do a couple of cycles of roids. I was like, I won't, but I'd love to. And he's like, I know you would.
What's the capability?
Yeah, like my fucking shoulders. Oh. I was like, I just want to lift weights, but again, I need some sort of goal. And like, I can set myself PB goals, but I also need a level of like public humiliation to like get me to do it. So I was like, well, maybe I'll try powerlifting. Like, what do you mean? I can just like lift weights and eat Haribo between my sets. That sounds class. So I did that. I did first timers last August. PB'd all my lifts, was amazing. I loved it. I actually really loved the competition environment, which I didn't think I would. I hate
Very
the little
supportive
suit.
and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it was like,
it's like a wee family.
great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was gearing up to do another one this year, but I broke my arm at the start of the year.
Yeah.
So we've been rebuilding
How
bones.
did you break your arm?
Arm wrestling.
See, when I seen that picture, I was like, for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
man. It was a nasty break.
Oh, like proper snaps.
Snap,
like, yeah.
I've not done an arm wrestle since.
I don't like it's
People are. It's just, I don't know, man, you're half tan, someone's like, well, I have an arm wrestle. And I'm like, no, man, no, how? And I just got away with that.
Yeah.
Just show them
And
your
the thing
arm.
is, so I like arm wrestling was my thing. Like at my client Christmas party, we had like an arm wrestling competition. That was like 2 weeks before I broke my arm. And Ross has said to me for years, "Don't do it. People break their arm. Don't do it." And I was like, "Do you know who I am?
You've
I
just
train."
tempted fate. That's what
And then
you've
it
done, innit?
happened, and bless him, he waited till my cast came off after like 17 weeks. We're driving back from the hospital, and he's like, "Told you." I was like, "Oh, you little prick."
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. So talking into the powerlifting then for next year.
Yeah, and I had a conversation with my coach on the way here, actually. One of my clients did the Great Scottish Run a couple of weeks ago, and she beat my PB by 50 seconds.
Did she? Right, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And she was like, well, maybe we can do a half marathon together next year. We could do like a 1:45. And I'm thinking, Jesus.
That's fast, man.
So that was me having a conversation with my coach. How much running can I do before it starts affecting powerlifting? And can I balance running a half marathon PB and PB in all my lifts? And I think I can.
So you're basically a hybrid athlete now.
Basically, yes.
Yes, I mean, we'll be on the road soon,
Yeah.
Absolutely, I love it, man. It's funny how competitive you get with your clients and all. Like, we've got Callum Pratt who'll be listening to us, and I am not catching him. Like, he's working towards a 2:52 marathon. And he said that to me, and I'm like,
What? Excuse me?
2:52, aye.
Wow.
It's like a 4:03 pace or something. It's mental, man. And like, because me and him are quite
How's his
competitive.
deadlift?
And not as good as yours. Definitely not as good as mine, mate. But he said that to us, and I was like, there's part of me going, that's cool. Part of me going, how the fuck am I going to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, innit, man? You get pure ego driven. But no, it's cool, man. It's cool. So when are you doing your powerlifting comp?
So I'm hoping to get into the Spring Open. So that will be, so the half marathon I want to do is end of March. The powerlifting will be end of April.
Class, man.
Yeah,
Class.
so that's the sort of next 5 months tied
Dynamite.
up.
That
which
was
is
class,
cool.
man. And obviously building up the arm again to make it
Building
happen.
up the arm, yeah.
Love it, man. So don't do arm wrestling, especially if you want to be a powerlifter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're fucked at that point, man. But no, I love that conversation there, Hannah. There was so much more that we could obviously covered, man. And I'm sure we'll probably cover it at a later date as well, man. But I think that's a good spot to wrap it up, man. Hannah, if you want to just kind of like share your socials so everyone can see the rebuild of the arm in the powerlifting competition as well, man. But if you want to follow Hannah, if you want to just share your socials.
Yeah, so it's just Hannah Reilly, REILLY.CBA.
I love it,
Easy.
man. And if you can, obviously, guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you are listening to us on Spotify, give us a wee follow. And also, please share it to your stories. Tag myself in it, tag Hannah in it, and make a wee bit of noise. And yeah, get more people joining the Made by Miles podcast.